Welcome to the latest Motley Fool Scoreboard. I'm on in Chocolate. We've got longtime fools, Matt Frankel and Travis Hoyam, giving a 1 to 10 rating to a top 100 Moneyball database stock. It's Salesforce, ticker symbol CRM. Talk about the strength of Salesforce's business first, including factors like industry and competition. 10 is invincible, 1 is hopeless. Travis is at a 6. Matt, you're higher at an 8.
Yeah, I can't in good conscience give Salesforce's business a bad score. They're really the undisputed leader in CRM software. I mean, they're, especially by size, they're just bigger than everyone else. They have a vast ecosystem that gives them a nice advantage. There's a lot. I mean, switching costs are a pain for when you get that deep into people's businesses. There's strong revenue growth over the years, but it's been a bit sluggish lately. 10% revenue growth in the latest quarter. There is a lot of competition, and it's ramping up, and I do see limited potential for exciting growth ahead, but this is an amazing business.
Yeah, it's an amazing business looking backward, and I think that's the way that I'm looking at Salesforce is what is this company going forward? And I just don't see the real growth in the future. This is a company that has ingrained itself in a lot of the big, older, stodgier, slower growth companies. That's why that growth rate has declined to single digits. They're no longer the disruptor. They're the company that's being disrupted. And so that's why I went much lower here.
For those who don't know the CRM acronym, it's Customer Relationship Management. So think sales contacts and beyond that. And they also own Slack. That was a big purchase. For management, a 10 is Warren Buffett, a 1 is Homer Simpson, Travis is a 7, Matt, you're at a 9.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Slack, we literally used Salesforce to plan this episode that you're watching right now. At management, I gave Mark Benioff a 9. He's done an outstanding job of growing this company that he co-founded into the powerhouse that it is. The stock has slightly underperformed the market over the past decade. Emphasis on slightly. It's still performed pretty well. But the business is reaching relative maturity. The long-term results have been fantastic. But like Travis said, what's next?
I have to respect what Mark Benioff has built with Salesforce, but the question is he the right person to be building the next phase for Salesforce? And as they move to agents, as we have more artificial intelligence, as competition comes from different areas, that's really what I question here. You know, I've heard a lot of his visions for the future of agents. We're not seeing that payoff in the numbers. I don't know that that's going to be the right direction for the company. So that's why I went a little bit lower here. It's a little bit more forward looking on, you know, what does this management team do to keep from being disrupted in the future?
You're going to see Travis explaining why he's lower just across the board. For financials, a 10 is a fortress, a 1 is yikes. Travis is at a 6. Matt's much higher at a 9.
Yeah, I don't see how you can give it much lower than a 9 for financials. This is an absolute cash machine with a great balance sheet. The strong balance sheet, they have about $13 billion in net cash, great margins, almost an 80% gross margin. They expect $15 billion in operating cash flow this fiscal year. They're generating a ton of money, and they have a great balance sheet. So, I mean, I don't put revenue growth in this category, so I think that's where we differed.
Yeah, if you add revenue growth to that chart, the revenue growth rate has been in decline for 13 years now. So just a steady decline from being a double-digit growth company to now a single-digit growth company. That's not the trend that you want to be on. There's been an uptick in the past quarter or so, but I just don't see that as really sustainable, as especially younger companies, faster growing companies, not choosing Salesforce. This is a very, very expensive solution for companies to go with. Well, yes, once you're ingrained, you're in a really great position, but it's also going to mean that if you're a smaller company just starting out, you're going to find a lower cost solution. That's typically where disruption comes from.
Travis, let's talk valuation. How well will Salesforce's stock do over the next 5 years? I have a guess. And how safe is it, keeping in mind a 10 is a sure thing, a 1 is a lottery ticket?
Yeah, I've got to go low here. I'm actually going negative for my return expectation. Safety score is 5. I think we have talked a lot over the past few years about Google being disrupted. I think Salesforce is the big tech company in San Francisco that is going to be disrupted over the next decade. So keep an eye out for that.
I completely disagree. Travis and I don't often totally disagree on things. I don't think the returns are going to be fantastic. I said 5 to 10%, but I put an 8 for safety. I think in terms of not losing money over the next 5 years, it's about as safe as a software as a service stock can get. I see the company growing at a mid to high single-digit rate over the next 5 years. Nothing too exciting. We might see some multiple compression. They trade at 34 times earnings. But I honestly can't see much of a scenario where Salesforce is lower in 5 years than it is now.
Thank you to both Matt and to Travis. They've given Salesforce a mediocre overall score of 6.4 out of 10. Obviously, Matt's higher than Travis's. For topics, Matt prefers HubSpot. Meanwhile, Travis is kind of out of that whole part of the tech industry. Look out for a new Scoreboard every market day at 7 p.m. Eastern. Next up is Donaldson Company. Till then, Fool on. Yeah, kids, it's Donaldson Company. Come on! There's a kid somewhere like McDonald's?